Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Monday, the 30th of October 2023, and this video is going to be my 30th world first biblical deciphering. Then in today's video, I'm going to decipher for you Zechariah chapter 12, verses 2 and 3. Okay, so if you head over to the book of Zechariah and go to chapter 12, okay, I'm going to be discussing verses 2 and 3, okay. Now, oftentimes you will find many Bible scholars talking about Jerusalem becoming a cup of trembling, okay? And also Jerusalem being a burdensome stone for all people, okay? But where exactly do we put these two verses and in which dispensation? Now, both verses offer, quite a lot of clues as to which dispensation we can put them. But also you got to do a bit of a Bible study looking at Zechariah chapter 14 as well, especially with verses 2 to 4, in order to do a bit of a comparison with the wording, okay? Because if you do a comparison, then by a process of elimination, okay, and I do have some notes here, you just got to do a little bit of thinking, folks, then you will be able to work out in which dispensation you can actually put these two verses. Now, I'm sorry to say that I already given you a big clue, Millennium Kingdom. So I guess I spoiled the party early on. But yeah, when I was doing my Bible study, you guys know me, folks. I scribble my Bible, highlight it, and things like that, just for my own study purposes. I do have other Bibles that are clean and tidy. This is just my working Bible. This is the Bible that I use for my decipherings, okay? So let's get to it, folks. Now, it says here in verse 12 to behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege of both against Judah and against Jerusalem. Notice how it says here that it's going to be a siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. Now, it is vital that you remember this, against Judah and against Jerusalem, okay? And I'll show you why in a minute by a process of elimination, okay? But let's just read verse 3, okay? And it says, and in that day I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people, and all that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. Though all the people of the earth be gathered together against them. Here's another huge clue. All the people of the earth be gathered together against them. Okay, now we know that this prophecy then of Zechariah chapter 12 verse 2 and 3 cannot happen in this dispensation of the church age. Okay, now we know that Israel is in full control of Jerusalem, East Jerusalem and West Jerusalem, if you like, and all its land, okay? All the land that Israel decided to keep for themselves, they are in full control. So we know that these two verses cannot come to pass during the church age. Then I guess we need to start thinking, can we put these two verses then into the dispensation or the tribulation period? Now, bear in mind, folks, that very soon we're going to have the first Gog and Magog war, okay? In other words, Ezekiel 38, 39. And I just told you here, okay, that when there shall be in siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem, okay? Now, of course, Judah and Jerusalem is not under siege right now, okay? And I just told you that Israel is in full control of Jerusalem, so these two verses we cannot put them into the dispensation of the church age. But let us do a bit of a comparison here. Then can we put them into the tribulation period, then into that dispensation? I don't think so, folks, because it says here, the word says in verse 1, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. So in other words, the second coming of Jesus, okay? Now, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses filled, and so on, okay? We know that it's Jesus' second coming because if you read verse 4 here, it says, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem. Okay, so this is Jesus' second coming. It's also us coming, the signs together with Jesus for the second Gog and Magog war. Okay, now the fact that we cannot put Zechariah verses 2 and 3 into the dispensation of the tribulation period is because notice what it says here. Okay, there shall be a siege in both Judah and against Jerusalem. Okay, so it's talking about a siege against Judah and against Jerusalem, whereas in Zechariah, 14 verse 2, is saying that Jesus is going to gather all nations against Jerusalem. It's not saying against Judah and Jerusalem. Okay, he's going to gather all nations against Jerusalem. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference. Okay, all nations against Jerusalem. Okay, for battle. So we know this is going to be the second Gog and Magog war. Okay, so I got some notes here, folks, that I want to show you, just so that we can talk about the process of elimination. Okay, now of course here I got here the church age dispensation. We're going to have soon the first Gog and Magog war. In other words, the secret war of 38, 39. I just told you that we cannot put the prophecies of Zechariah chapter 12 verse 2 and 3 into the church age dispensation because Israel is in full control of Jerusalem. Okay, so there's not going to be a siege in Judah and in Jerusalem. Okay, so we can tick that off. Okay, so it's not going to happen definitely during the church age. Okay, because quite clearly here, folks, it's talking about a siege against Judah and against Jerusalem. We know that Israel is in full control of Jerusalem, so it's not going to happen, folks, during the church age. Okay, now also these two verses in Zechariah 2 and 3, like I just told you, it cannot happen during the tribulation period either, because we know that after the the church age, we're going to have the rapture of the church. Okay, and the tribulation period is going to begin. Okay, and we know that Moses and Elijah are going to be in Israel. Okay, and Israel needs to be in peace. They just signed the covenant with the Messiah. It's a peace covenant, so we know that Jerusalem is not going to be under siege. Neither will Judah, because like I said, they just signed a peace covenant, and there is total peace, at least for the first 3.5 years. Okay, now we know, of course, that at the end of the tribulation period is going to be the second Gog and Magog war. Okay, according to Revelation 19, verses 11 to 15. Okay, so it's us, the signs coming. Okay, with Jesus for Armageddon. Okay, but if you look here, then on Zechariah chapter 14, verse 1, it says, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem." It's not saying there's going to be a siege in Judah and in Jerusalem. It's saying gathering all nations against Jerusalem. Okay, so there's going to be that earthquake. Okay, now, so we can safely tick this off and say, hey, these two verses in Zechariah, verses 2 and 3, cannot happen during the tribulation period. So when can they come to pass? It's actually at the end of the Millennium Kingdom. The only place in the Bible where Zechariah 12 verse 2 and 3 can happen is at the end of the Millennium Kingdom, in the last Gog and Magog war. Okay, but what's going to happen is that the verses of Revelation 20, or this prophecy in Revelation 20 verse 8 and 9, and Zechariah 12 2 and 3, okay, these two work in conjunction. Okay, they come to pass at the same time. Now, you need to realize, okay, that there's going to be Jews, according to Zechariah, 2/3 will be cut off, 1/3 will make it through into the Millennium Kingdom. Now, In order for Jesus to be the King of Israel, then there has to be Jewish people that have lived through the tribulation period coming into the Millennium Kingdom. Otherwise, how can Jesus be king, right? So we know that prophecy in Zechariah chapter 13, verses 8 and 9, okay? We know that, so if you got here to Zechariah, okay, verses 8 and 9, okay, where it says that, okay, so 2/3 will be cut off, 1/3 will make it through, okay? So 2/3 will be cut off, those that are living right now in Israel, and 1/3 will make it through, okay? So yeah, of course, what's going to happen, folks, is that in Revelation 20, verse 7, Satan is going to deceive the nations, and they will come against Israel, okay? Now, they're also going to come against Judah, because I just told you here, folks, that there's going to be Jewish people living in the land of Israel. Jesus is going to be the king, so there's going to be a siege in Judah and Jerusalem to fulfill this prophecy of Zechariah 12 verses 2 and 3. Okay, it's the only time that these two verses can come to pass. It's at the end of the Millennium Kingdom, in the last Gog and Magog war. Let's just go over first quickly to Revelation 20, so that you can get a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. So we got Revelation 20, verse 8 and 9. So we got, and when the 1,000 years are expired, okay, in verse 7 here of Revelation 20, okay, when the 1,000 years are expired, then Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, okay, and shall go to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, in other words, the last Gog and Magog, together then to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So it's going to be quite a lot of them. And they went up on the breast of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. The camp of the saints is actually in Jerusalem, because the Bible teaches that as the saints, okay, wherever Jesus is, we have to be there with him, because we are his bride, okay? So, and the beloved city, which is Jerusalem, and fire come down from God out of heaven and devour them, okay? So basically, the nations are going to be deceived, okay, by Satan, okay, who's going to be let loose, if you like, and they're going to come to Jerusalem, but they're also going to do a siege in Judah as well, okay, according to Zechariah here. Let's quickly go back to Zechariah, okay. They're also going to there shall be a siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem, okay? So this is the only time, folks, the only time, if I can get the cell phone to focus there in a moment, it's the only time, folks, that these two prophecies, verse 2 and 3 of Zechariah chapter 12 can come to pass. In other words, Jerusalem becoming a cup of trembling, okay? And that Jerusalem being a burdensome stone for all people. So basically, when Satan is let loose, if you like, all the nations are going to come against us. The camp of the saints. There's going to be a siege both in Judah and against Jerusalem, and of course, God is going to wipe them out. Okay, thus, this prophecy here in Zechariah chapter 12, verse 2 and 3 will come to pass. Okay, at the same time as Revelation 20, verse 8 and 9 come to pass. Okay. So this is the only time, folks, at the end of the Millennium Kingdom, for the last Gog and Magog war, when we can put Zechariah chapter 12, verse 2 and 3 in other words, Jerusalem being a cup of trembling, and also Jerusalem being a burdensome stone. Okay, folks, I hope that I have made sense of this. Now, let me explain to you now Isaiah 17.1, okay? Well, just hang in there, folks, for 1 sec while I flip the pages into Isaiah 17.1. Very, very important, folks, that you just hang in there, because I'm going to explain to you something very, very important. regarding this prophecy, which will come to pass very, very shortly, folks. No doubt about it, especially how the geopolitical is unfolding. I'm on Isaiah now. 17, here we go. Okay, now it says, okay, so if you go to Isaiah, okay, Isaiah 17.1, the burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. I only use my King James, folks, for all my biblical decipherings, okay? Now, one of the things to know, folks, is that in this coalition, okay, of Ezekiel 38, 39, okay, I'm going to do a process of elimination now. In this coalition, we got Russia, Turkey, Iran, Sudan, and Libya. Okay, now you have to ask this question, why is it that we don't have Lebanon and Syria, okay, whom border Israel to the north, okay? Why are they not part of this Ezekiel coalition, okay? Now, the reason that Syria and Lebanon, if you like, are not going to be part of this of the Ezekiel border 38, 39 is because recently you will have heard Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that if Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, goes against Israel in a big way, that Israel is going to eliminate it completely, and that Israel will put Lebanon or send Lebanon into the Stone Age, okay? So that is why, folks, we don't see Lebanon as part of this coalition. And also Syria is not mentioned as well. You know why? Because we know that Iran is smuggling in weapons for Hezbollah, who are in southern Lebanon, okay? Iran is using the Damascus airport and also the Aleppo airport as well, okay, to smuggle in weapons. And we know that Israel has bombarded these two airports, the Aleppo and Damascus, time and time again, constantly, So, and I just told you that Benjamin Netanyahu has said that if Hezbollah comes, against Israel in a big way, that they are going to send Lebanon into the Stone Age. Now, with those political comments then, by a process of elimination, then we know that Isaiah 17.1 will come to pass in this dispensation of the church age, okay? Because we know that in the Ezekiel word of 38, 39, we know by a process of elimination, if you like, that they're not here in this coalition. And you could ask the question, why not? Why not? It's because Israel, soon, they're going to annihilate Hezbollah. They're going to send Lebanon into the Stone Age, and they're going to bombard Syria. That's fulfilling Isaiah 17.1. Okay? The reason that Syria and Lebanon are not part of this coalition is because Israel is going to take care of them now before they come, in this coalition that's here. Russia, Turkey, Iran, Sudan, and Libya, okay? Especially with what Benjamin Netanyahu has said very recently. So, the problem with Isaiah 17.1, okay, it's a prophecy that doesn't say in which dispensation is going to come to pass. It just says, hey, Damascus is going to be a ruinous heap, and that's it. It doesn't say, hey, church age. It doesn't say, hey, during Czechoslovakia struggle or Millennium Kingdom. It's just plain, there's no information. So I always thought that if Israel didn't take care of it just before Ezekiel, that it will probably come to pass during some kind of earthquake, perhaps even during the Ezekiel earthquake of verse 19 and 20. Even perhaps during, an earthquake, during the tribulation period, or the tribulation earthquake, if you like, or when even Jesus touches down, at the Mount of Olives, for the Millennium Kingdom. But if you take into consideration how Benjamin Netanyahu has said very recently that, that if Hezbollah attacks Israel in a big way, that they are going to send Lebanon into the Stone Age. And because of what's happening in the geopolitical now, and the fact that Lebanon and Syria are not part of this coalition, I think that we can safely say that Isaiah 17.1 will come to pass in the church age, okay? And very soon, there's no doubt in my mind that since Israel is taking care of Hamas now, there has never been a better time than for Israel to take care of also Hezbollah and Syria as well, and just kind of like annihilate all these terrorists, if you like, get rid of all the terrorists. And then, of course, this is going to trigger, the secret war, So once Israel does Hezbollah, the Elam Bible prophecy found in Jeremiah 49, they get rid of the Syrians, fulfilling Isaiah 17.1, and they get rid of those terrorists, in the Gaza Strip or Hamas, if you like. Once they get rid of all that terrorism, if you like, then we're going to have these, coalition of Ezekiel 38, 39 coming down. So that is why Lebanon and Syria are not part, because here we got Israel, and then you got Lebanon and Syria on the northern border. So according to the latest geopolitical developments in Israel, we can say that Isaiah 17.1 will be fulfilled very shortly, alongside the Elam Bible prophecy found in Jeremiah 49, verses 34 to 39. And we know that, just to recap, we know that Syria and Lebanon are not part of the coalition. That's why, because Israel is going to take care of them, Syria is going to wipe out Lebanon and Syria, and not going to have the numbers to join the secret war. But that's not to say that there could be some remnants of Lebanese and Syrians who, for some reason, they are disgruntled, if you like, and we might see small pockets or a small remnant, if you like, or survivors joining in this coalition, because don't forget that Lebanon and Syria border Israel, and this coalition will have to come down, in the mountains of Israel, So, yeah, we might see some small pockets of these groups of people, the Lebanese and the Syrians, coming down to join this coalition. So, all right, folks, thanks for watching. I hope that this video has been informative. I hope that you have understood how I have deciphered for you Zechariah chapter 12, verses 2 and 3, how we're going to put it in the church age by a process of elimination. We're going to put it into the tribulation, but it can only work in conjunction with Revelation 20, verse 8 and 9, for the last Gog and Magog war. So I hope that this has been informative and a blessing to you. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll talk to you guys later.